As a veteran Althari fleet commander, I watched the humans with a kind of bemused curiosity. Their fleet was tiny, their ships appearing almost primitive compared to our own. Yet these fragile, short-lived beings were volunteering to fight the Devourers or Relentless, galaxy-wide menace that had brought far greater empires to their knees. High Commander Vexdal, against my private counsel, decided to grant humanity a chance to prove themselves. Across the galaxy, other species watched, uncertain if these newcomers were incredibly brave or just suicidally foolish. On the main viewscreen, I saw them. The human ships, small and bristling with what looked like outdated weaponry, were being prepped. Their crews, unarmored and exposed in the vacuum of their hangars, checked their weapons and stood ready. Their courage was undeniable, their resolve absolute. I couldn't help but shake my head, caught between admiration and pity. What were they thinking? I pulled up the human military files. Their technology was, by galactic standards, archaic. They favored close-range brute force combat. Their arsenal was dominated by kinetic weapons, nuclear payloads, and even chemical bomb stools of horrifying, indiscriminate destruction. But what truly shocked me was their casualty doctrine. They considered losses of over 90% in a single engagement to be acceptable. Their tactics were built around close-range strikes, ramming maneuvers, and the total annihilation of enemy assets. I was both horrified and fascinated. These creatures viewed war as an absolute. Sacrifice, destruction, and brutal efficiency were their guiding principles. Then came the first test. Admiral Chen, their leader, proposed a daring plan, a 6-hour assault on a heavily defended Devourer outpost. Our own coalition fleets had projected a 47-hour campaign for the same target, and that was with triple the ships. I was deeply skeptical, but the humans moved with a chilling precision. Their ships assembled in minutes, weapons loaded, engines burning hot. Their confidence was almost unnerving. Through their open comms, we heard them calmly discussing tactics. Every crew member, from the captain to the lowest-ranking deckhand, knew their role and their likely fate. The galaxy watched in disbelief. These fragile beings were about to challenge the impossible. The moment the battle began, the human fleet charged directly into the enemy's wall of fire. There were no evasive maneuvers, no feints, just a straight, suicidal-looking push. Explosions tore through their unshielded hulls, yet they advanced relentlessly. Over the comms, we heard some crews singing their old military songs as their life support failed. We saw others execute daring boarding actions, physically latching onto Devourer vessels and blowing their way inside. Their sheer ferocity was something the coalition had never witnessed. Within 4 hours and 12 minutes, the outpost fell. 68% of the human fleet was gone, yet many of the surviving ships, riddled with catastrophic damage, were already being repaired by their crews. Humanity had proven its lethal capability, and for the first time, I felt a flicker of fear. The galaxy wasn't just watching anymore. It was learning to be afraid of them. After the battle, I studied the surviving humans. They grieved their dead, yes, but there was no despair, only a hardened resolve. These beings were unlike anything I had ever encountered. I requested permission to inspect the captured outpost with one of their officers, a captain, Sarah Martinez. The station was eerily silent. The Devourers were all dead. There were no prisoners. As we walked through the corridors, Martinez explained their philosophy. "Commander," she said, her voice flat, "we fight parasites that consume sentient life. There is no negotiating with them. We minimize their capability to harm others at any cost, even if that cost is our own." I struggled to comprehend. By galactic law, what they had done was a war crime. But to them, it was simply strategy. To them, it was justice. The truth began to dawn on me. Humanity fought not for honor or for glory, but for survival, relentless absolute survival. Not long after, a Devourer fleet of 2,000 ships attacked Kepler Station, a critical coalition starbase. The nearest reinforcements were hours away. The humans, with only 200 ships in the sector, moved to intercept. They were outnumbered 10-1, yet they did not hesitate. Their fleet held a tight, perfect formation, their synchronized fire cutting through the Devourer's swarm. Ships exploded around them. Crews died by the thousands. Yet they fought on. Every destroyed human ship was a deliberate sacrifice, a piece of their brutal calculus. In the end, they inflicted over 1,200 casualties on the Devourer fleet before they were wiped out. Their bravery, their sacrifice, bought the coalition 6 crucial hours to mount a defense. The Devourers were enraged. The galaxy was stunned. Humanity had turned its own desperation into a weapon. Then came the message that changed everything. An emergency transmission, raw and panicked. Earth had been attacked. 7.6 billion human casualties. Their homeworld, the cradle of their civilization, was in flames. An emergency war council was convened. Admiral Chen stood before us, his face a mask of cold fury. "Operation Divine Wrath is now in effect," he declared, his voice cutting through the silent room. "All Devourer, military and civilian assets will be destroyed. There will be no exceptions, no survivors, no negotiation." The humans mobilized their entire civilization. Shipyards began operating around the clock. Fleets of new, deadlier ships, launched into space every day. They were ready to break every treaty, defy every protocol, and, if necessary, finish this war alone. The galaxy watched, no longer with curiosity or skepticism, but with awe and sheer terror. Humanity was no longer just a participant in this war. They had become a reckoning. 11 months passed. 11 months of total, fanatical war. Near the Devourer homeworld, 15,000 human vessels gathered. Their resources were depleted, their economy had collapsed, but every single ship was battle-ready. Admiral Chen gave the final orders. Self-replicating berserker probes were launched, swarms of metal locusts that consumed Devourer ships without mercy. The humans broadcast a single message to the Devourer homeworld, giving them 30 seconds for civilian evacuation. The countdown ended. And then, the planetary bombardment began. Humanity showed no hesitation, no remorse. They had decided that justice was impossible, but certainty was within their grasp. The Devourers were annihilated. The galaxy witnessed total, systematic destruction. Humanity had proven that survival sometimes requires a terrible ruthlessness, a strategy of fire and steel, and an unflinching resolve to see it through. Their war was absolute, their victory inevitable. Humanity had joined the galactic community, but in their path, they left neither mercy nor compromise. Their war was unyielding, their resolve unmatched, and the stars would never forget their name. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and follow for more stories from the edge of the galaxy.